team is the best team in the country.
Ignore the left side of the bracket.
Terrible,
All
Nick.
of our left sides of the bracket are ruined.
Worst.
The right side of the bracket will determine the champion in most pools. And don't feel badly, Jenna.
I woke up this morning and I had to read it, and then I put my glasses on, and then I put 2 pair of glasses on. I'm like, nope, I read that right. Yep. I'm officially done.
This has been a great week of shows. I'm excited for too.
Yeah, your bracket might be messed up, Jenna, but the outfit, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
On a Friday.
Yes.
A little pop right there to help Nick and I. Definitely a rose between a thorn and a bush.
I don't know which one I want to be.
I used to be thorny, but I'm a little more bush.
Okay, got it. All right, good to know. Got
it. You guys look great, too. It has been a great week. Let's finish it off with this. Kentucky is a lock, they said. Kentucky's got an easy road to the Final Four, they said. Kentucky will sail right to the end, they said. They were all wrong. Kentucky lost to Kansas State last night 61-58, missing a 3 at the buzzer. Kansas State now advances to the Elite Eight, where they will face Loyola Chicago, just like everyone predicted. Coach Cal spoke last night on if the season was a success.
This was a rewarding year for me. I wish it could have ended in another week, but, you know, for me to see how individual players got better, for me to see how this team came together, for me to see Jared in, Jared out, all the stuff that went on with injuries, and they hung in there and played a bunch of freshmen. I mean, I thought they really performed.
So the social media backlash last night had a lot of people criticizing Coach Cal, just that he coaches these great teams and then they don't get too far into the tournament, and that I think was some of the impetus to what was asked here. How do you measure success for John Calipari's team, CC?
Well, you have to do it differently because Coach Cal, he's adopted the one and done, which in turn, because of that, he has inherited a lot of hate, especially social media-wise. They don't like the style that he's run. They don't like the questionable background as far as other programs where he's been, where infractions were involved, rumors being involved. So Coach Cal, he's not the most popular coach. He always gets criticized. Even if he was to win, they would find something else. But if watching Kentucky all season, this was a rewarding year because they struggled. We had a conversation in January, would they make the tournament? But it just didn't start this season. Last year's recruiting, they lost 3 guys to the NBA draft. 3 guys in the top 14. I'll say, so tell me what other team was in the Sweet 16 and lost 3 guys to that. That would be only Kentucky. So you have to measure it in different wins and losses than other coaches because he's doing so many other things. He is trying to get guys drafted. He's embraced the one and done. He missed out on a couple recruits that are playing other places. So this was not his dominant recruiting class. They struggled during the season, but to see these young kids, and I know that, I talked to someone close to Coach Cal yesterday before the game. People were like, he said, oh, don't drink the poison. He knows his basketball team.
Right.
He knows this wasn't a mature basketball team. He knew that they couldn't shoot the ball really well beyond the 3. He knew that there could be problems for them going forward. So he was well aware of that. So you do have to judge it in a different way, you know, because with Coach Cal, it's wins on the court, but it's also how many guys does he transition into their NBA career. Just
real quick, would he take that and risk the success in the tournament so that he could have these prolific guys in the NBA?
Well, he realized they don't run together sometime. You know, in trying to run the type of program that he's running, success in the NCAA, when you got 4 or 5 freshmen starting year after year, experience really helps in this tournament.
Right, and so you mentioned it. He loses De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Bam, the kid from with the Heat right now, Bam Adebayo last year, all lottery picks. And then this year they make the Sweet 16 again. People pick at Coach Cal because they don't like Coach Cal. My opinion, you know him well. He wished you a happy birthday on this television show. I don't know Coach Cal at all, aside from a couple interviews I've done with him. But what I respect about him as much, if not more, from Kentucky, Mitch McConnell, came to him and said, look at how many millionaires you've helped create. Look at the generational wealth you have helped create for young people who, yes, most of those guys were going to go pro anyway, but he tries to put them in the best position. He is transparent about the transaction that is going on. You are coming to the University of Kentucky for a year or two. We are going to ride that as well as we can to success for the program, prominence for the program, prominence for the school, and I will try to put you in the best position to get wealth for you and your family. And it's not like he doesn't win. Once Coach Cal makes another Final Four, which I believe will happen the next couple years, he will be top 5 all-time Final Fours, top 5 all-time Elite Eights. He's already been in 3 national championship games at 2 different programs. He's one of only 3 coaches to take 3 different programs to the Final Four. Like, the idea that he has all these great players and no success is not there. They won a championship at Kentucky. They were a couple missed free throws away from winning a championship at Memphis, and they made a Final Four at UMass. Like, so he goes to the Elite Eight, not this year, but seemingly every year. The guy's been to the Elite Eight 11 times. So the idea that he doesn't have success in the tournament, nobody is Coach K. Like, and by the way, people say, oh, what about Roy Williams? Roy Williams had this rap until a few years ago when they peeled a few championships. Like, the school I root for, Syracuse. Jim Boeheim is one of the greatest coaches ever. I will go to my grave believing that. They've won the title once. Tom Izzo, one of the greatest coaches ever. They've won the title once. It is, Jenna, it's a really hard tournament with a lot of randomness because it's 6.
Especially if you're going to go into it every year with kids.
With no experience.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So do you think there's a second layer of a conversation here to be had about what's the goal? Is it to have success, if we're a big-time program in the NCAA, have success in college or to have success in the NBA with the kids that came from college? What do you think is more
Coach
important?
Cal would not go to Big Blue Basketball Nation because that's where Kentucky is. It's one of the great programs that we've ever seen in college basketball if winning was not important.
Winning there.
Winning at Kentucky. Winning for Kentucky. Winning for the fans of Kentucky. Winning for that administration. But also, he puts the kids first. Whatever the kids' aspirations are, Coach Cal does that, and he never blames the kid. He always takes responsibility. Most coaches don't do that, all right? You will see where they will start putting some of the blame on the kids, how they didn't perform. Coach Cal, he always puts it on himself and on the coaching staff. But at the forefront of Coach Cal, winning is winning on the court. But if this kid yesterday, the kid missed 14 free throws. Yeah. They missed 14 free throws. If that kid gets drafted in the NBA, Coach Cal will take that for the overall experience of helping to develop those kids.
P.J. Washington missed 12 of their 14 free throws. What I think is this. I don't think Duke is the only program that gets to have it both ways. Duke is the only program that gets to produce consistent quality NBA players, now not the quality Kentucky has, and also win a bunch of championships.
Is that Krzyzewski? Or is that
No. Also, too, we need to throw this in there because people try to act like Coach K. Coach K has adopted what Coach Cal was doing.
With the one and dones now. As we saw next year, he's got the top 3 recruits, 1, 2, 3. All those kids, I would imagine, hope to be one and done. But we can go down the list. Bill Self has won 14 consecutive conference championships at one of the 5 most prominent programs historically in the country, KU. He has won the championship once and been to the Final Four twice. That's it. Like here's the dirty secret about the NCAA tournament.
Tell me.
And we pick on the coaches we don't like. Nobody criticizes Izzo for only winning 1 title and he's earned it. People really like Tom Izzo. People really like his player development. People don't like Cal and the slick back hair and what they feel is a little bit of backroom
in college
dealing.
Basketball, had some allegations, went to the NBA. He's been paid a lot of money.
Right. But the dirty secret about the NCAA tournament is this. It is a wildly entertaining 3 weeks that is a ludicrously unfair way to crown a champion. Like, because of the randomness, because you have 6 consecutive single elimination opportunities, it is not the best way to determine, in my eyes, who was the best team in college basketball that year. One year that Coach Cal made the final, his team won 11 games, they lose in the final. Another year, they don't make the final, they're undefeated going into the Final Four and lose to Wisconsin. Like, that's just the randomness of the tournament, which is why Rick Pitino, Jim Boeheim said, I believe Rick Pitino is the single best coach in college basketball. This was right after he got fired. Rick Pitino won 2 titles ever. One at Kentucky a lifetime ago, and then the one at Louisville a few years ago. That's a guy that Jim Boeheim, one of the best coaches ever, says is the best coach ever. He'd only won it twice. It's so hard.
I'd still take the tournament every single year.
What do you mean? Oh, like as a fan?
As a fan.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's just one of the best times of the year.
No doubt. We all
and
would
if we didn't have the one and done rule, the tournament would be even better.
Right. Perhaps. So meanwhile, Kentucky's out. No SEC teams right now in the Elite Eight. Last year, 3 teams were there. Interesting. We'll talk more about that. Yeah, really.
And they took that away from them.
Coming up, a new twist surrounding Kawhi Leonard.